If your paycheck only comes once or twice a month, why should your investments be any different? Today we're breaking down 5 dividend stocks that actually pay you every single month so your portfolio starts working more like a job, except you don't have to show up. Let's get into it. Most dividend stocks pay quarterly. That means you wait 3 months, collect your check, wait again. It's fine, but it's not ideal if you're trying to build a consistent income stream or reinvest regularly to speed up your compounding. Monthly dividend payers solve that problem. You get cash flowing in on a predictable schedule, and you can put it back to work faster. Over years and decades, that difference adds up more than most people realize. Now, before we go stock by stock, a quick but important note. Dividend yield is not the only thing that matters. A high yield can sometimes be a warning sign that a company is in trouble, and the market has already priced in a cut. We're looking for stocks with sustainable payouts, reasonable valuations, and solid underlying businesses, not just the biggest number on the screen. All right, stock number 1. Realty Income Corporation, ticker O. This is probably the most well-known monthly dividend payer out there, and for good reason. Realty Income is a real estate investment trust, or REIT, which means it's legally required to pay out at least 90% of its taxable income as dividends. It owns over 15,000 properties across the US and Europe, leased to tenants like Dollar General, Walgreens, and FedEx. These are long-term net leases, which means the tenants cover most of the expenses. Realty Income has paid a dividend every single month for over 50 years and has raised it more than 120 times. The yield typically hovers around 5 to 6%. It calls itself the Monthly Dividend Company. That's literally their slogan. And honestly, they've earned it. This is a core holding for a lot of income investors for good reason. Stock number 2. Stag Industrial, ticker STAG. If Realty Income is the blue chip of monthly REITs, STAG is a solid second option with a slightly different flavor. STAG focuses on industrial real estate, warehouses, distribution centers, manufacturing facilities. With e-commerce still driving huge demand for logistics space, that's a pretty good niche to be in. The yield typically lands somewhere around 4%. It's not the flashiest number, but the business is stable. The tenant base is diversified, and you're getting exposure to industrial real estate, which tends to be more resilient than retail. STAG is a good one to pair alongside Realty Income if you want to diversify across property types. Stock number 3. Main Street Capital, ticker MAIN. This one is a business development company, or BDC. BDCs work kind of like private equity for everyday investors. They lend money to and sometimes take equity stakes in small to mid-sized private companies that can't easily access traditional bank loans. Main Street Capital is considered one of the best-run BDCs in the market. It pays a monthly base dividend and has historically paid supplemental dividends on top of that. The yield on the base dividend alone is typically in the 5 to 7% range. What makes Main stand out is its internal management structure, which means lower fees than most BDCs, and its track record of not slashing the dividend even during rough markets. It's not a risk-free stock. The underlying loans can go bad, especially in a recession. But Main Street has managed that risk better than almost anyone in its category. Stock number 4. Agree. Realty, ticker ADC. Another net lease, REIT, but this one has carved out a very specific strategy. Agree, Realty focuses almost entirely on necessity-based retail. Think grocery stores, home improvement, tire shops, dollar stores. The idea is that these are businesses people still use, even when the economy gets shaky. The tenant roster includes names like Walmart, Tractor Supply, and TJ Maxx. Agree converted to monthly dividend payments back in 2021, and the yield typically runs around 4 to 5%. The payout ratio is conservative compared to a lot of REITs, which means there's room to keep growing the dividend over time. If you want a monthly payer that leans toward capital preservation and steady growth over raw yield, agree Realty is worth a close look. Stock number 5. EPD, Enterprise Products Partners. This is a Master Limited Partnership, or MLP, which is a structure you'll run into a lot in the energy infrastructure space. Enterprise owns and operates a massive network of pipelines, storage facilities, and processing plants across the U.S. It's not drilling for oil. It's moving oil and gas through infrastructure that the whole industry depends on. That distinction matters because EPD's revenue is more like a toll road than a commodity bet. Volume matters more than price. The partnership has raised its distribution, which is what MLPs call their dividends, for more than 25 consecutive years. The yield is typically in the 7% range. One thing to know, MLPs issue a K-1 tax form instead of a 1099, which can make tax filing a little more complicated. That's not a deal breaker, but it's worth knowing before you buy. If you want high monthly income and you're okay with that extra tax step, Enterprise is one of the most dependable payers in the energy sector. So, there you have it. 5 monthly dividend stocks across real estate, business development, and energy infrastructure. Realty Income for stability, STAG for industrial exposure, Main Street Capital for strong BDC fundamentals, Agree, Realty for conservative growth, and Enterprise Products. Partners for high yield with infrastructure backing. None of these are get-rich-quick plays. They're income-building tools. You buy them, reinvest the dividends, add more shares over time, and let compounding do what compounding does. It's not exciting, it's just effective. Do your own research before putting money into any of these. Look at the payout ratios, read the recent earnings, understand what you own. Informed investors make better decisions than people chasing yield blindly. If this video helped you think about dividend investing a little differently, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people find this channel. And if you want more practical, no-nonsense content on building income through investing, subscribe to YieldPath. We put out new videos every week, and we'd love to have you along for the ride.